Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Hummel. Here's what's coming up next on Acadiana's News Channel at 5.
In Iberia Parish, a man is doing his part to help volunteers who are searching for the missing crew members of the Seacor Power. I'm Kendria LaFleur, and I'll have more on how he started a donation drive.
Plus, changes to the state's mask mandate and also new guidance tonight from the CDC. Turning to weather, Rob, what can we expect out there tonight?
Well, more of the same. Breezy, warm, and humid. You may have noticed that humidity up this afternoon. That's with us for a while. Some rain chances by the week is done, and the weekend, well, maybe some rain chances there as well. We'll have the full details coming up.
I'm Katie Eastern. Following several complaints made Monday night, one baseball field is looking completely different.
And it's that time of year. The St. Jude Dream Home giveaway is now underway, and we have a first-hand look at this year's grand prize. Those stories and more news right now on KATC.
On the air and streaming live on your favorite device, this is KATC TV3, Acadiana's News Channel at 5.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for Acadiana's News Channel at 5. I'm Jim Hummel.
And I'm Marcel Fontenot. Louisiana's mask mandate will be eased as of tomorrow. Governor Edwards allowing local governments to set their own.
We reached out to LCG. A spokesperson tells us they will not enforce a mask mandate, but will support businesses who still choose to do so. Now, according to the governor, masks will still be required in K-12 schools, colleges and universities, public transit, state buildings, and healthcare facilities. The governor says the revision of the mandate is not an end to the recommendation of wearing a mask to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
It's not an end to mask wearing. It's not an end to recommendations that people wear masks, especially if they are vulnerable, if they're unvaccinated, or if they live with people who are vulnerable and unvaccinated. But I think it is a reflection of where we are at this stage of the pandemic.
And new guidance tonight from the CDC when it comes to masks outdoors. The agency says if a person is fully vaccinated, they can take their masks off. Those not vaccinated should continue wearing masks. The CDC recommends you should avoid medium to large gatherings, but if you find yourself in a large crowd, wear a mask. The Department of Health here in Louisiana reports 433 new cases of COVID-19. There are also 10 new deaths. Across the state, hospitalizations and ventilator usage continue to trend downward. Acadiana makes up 21% of today's new cases, but no new deaths were reported in the region.
As the search for the missing crew members aboard the Seacor Power continues, volunteer teams find 2 more Seacor life vests in an area near Vermilion Bay. Well, those volunteers are still out searching, and they are finding themselves in need. There's now a donation drive underway, and it all started with an offshore worker. Kendria LaFleur joins us from Lowe's in Iberia Parish, where the donations are being collected. Kendria.
They're asking for supplies like food, water, or anything that will help volunteers as they continue to search for the missing men. Trey Gaspa is an offshore worker. He doesn't know any of the crew members, but since they're in the same profession, the story of the wrecked ship struck a chord. He tells me he doesn't own a boat, but he still wanted to find a way to help with the search. He reached out to different businesses asking for donations and setting up donation drop-off sites. For the past few days, he has been driving those supplies from Acadiana to the Search Command Center in Chaumont.
Because I know that a lot of people want to bring it, but want to donate, but they don't have a way to bring it. So I want to be the way to bring it there for them.
He plans on delivering those donations Friday. Reporting in Iberia Parish, Kendria LaFleur, KATC TV3.
Now, if you're interested in making a donation for volunteers, here are the drop-off sites: food, water, sunscreen, mosquito repellent, whatever you think they would need to be out on the water. Donations are being accepted. The things that are collected between now and Friday will be dropped off sometime Friday. This information also posted at KATC.com, where you can find more ways to help in the search for the missing crew members. Just head to KATC.com/golf-search.
Meanwhile, Terrebonne deputies now confirm a package found by search volunteers yesterday is cocaine. That 2-pound package was found on Lost Island. The sheriff's office thanked those who found the package for turning it in. And a unified command group is now in charge of the response for the Seacor Power disaster. It consists of the Coast Guard and representatives from Seacor Marine. They'll address removing the lift boat from the Gulf, including the safe removal of fuel and oil. The Secor Power had a potential to have 35,000 gallons of fuel. So far, there are no reports of any impacts to wildlife.
Here's Rob's 24-hour forecast.
Well, mostly cloudy and breezy, mild one today. Temperatures starting out officially 70 in Lafayette. Got up into the low to mid 80s this afternoon, but more importantly, look what the dew points have done over the last 24 hours. We'll go back to yesterday at this time. We had comfortable dew points in the 50s. They rose through the 60s last night and low to mid 70s now. If you've been outside and you did a little work or exerted yourself a little bit, you felt that humidity. So here we go. Summer kind of knocking on the door. Now, as we take a look at the radar satellite composite, a lot of the precip we're seeing here is ground clutter, some light sprinkles across eastern Texas, but that's where they're going to stay. Mostly cloudy skies through tonight on the breezy side, so no fog issues. Temperatures bottom out in the lower 70s. Then tomorrow morning, clouds giving way to afternoon sun. Temperatures topping out at 83 to 84 degrees once again, and will stay dry for a couple of more days. Then things change by Thursday night going into Friday and the weekend. So in the near term, mostly cloudy skies in the morning, but more sunshine as we head into the afternoon, early evening. Temperatures tomorrow top out in the low to mid 80s. Rain chances staying low, and it stays in the 10% range through tomorrow. But some changes as we get into Thursday night. We'll talk more about that and the weekend forecast coming up in just a bit.
Headlines parish by parish. We start in Lafayette, where there are questions as to who's responsible for maintaining baseball fields at Brown Park. As we reported last night, when teams arrived for practice, they found fields not ready for the season. Uncut grass, bases not in place, and lines not drawn on the diamond. Consolidated government officials tell KATC weather is to blame. Our Katie Easter tonight is getting more answers.
The baseball fields inside Brown Memorial Park are looking different than they did Monday night, when several complaints were made to KATC by coaches and parents saying that the fields were neglected and were not ready for the season.
You know, and there's still a lot more to be done, but at least the first step is taken.
On Tuesday, crews installed bases, mowed the grass, and chalked lines along the diamond. Coach Lambert Phillips says this is the first time he has seen a field not ready for the teams.
Oh, they start doing maintenance before the season starts, normally before.
KATC went to other parks around the parish and found similar scenes. Grass uncut, bases not yet installed, but crews on the ground preparing the fields.
Some fields are in better condition right now. All of them need some kind of help. But these fields need to be ready for opening night Monday, and so they are highest priority.
Acting Parks and Recreation Director Hollis Conway told KATC bad weather caused several delays.
It should have happened earlier. Part of it, the weather didn't allow us to do it, so that was going to be an issue, but it should have happened earlier. But this would have been the response regardless, because it was supposed to be opening night. These kids are ready to play.
Conway says it's up to each city to maintain their parks, and the Lafayette Parish Parks and Recreation Department does maintenance as well.
We want this park running up right the way it's supposed to be, just like every other park, that's all.
According to Conway, opening day is not until next week. In Lafayette, Katie Easter, KATC TV3.
Well, new information tonight in a crash at a Church Point Sonic. It happened yesterday, and according to the police chief, it was accidental. He says the driver mistakenly hit the gas instead of the brake. The driver was not ticketed. The 3 employees who were hurt are expected to be okay. On to St. Landry Parish now, where an Opelousas man is facing numerous charges, including attempted murder. Earlier this month, police say Joseph Bell was following his ex-girlfriend in a car when he demanded she get inside. When she refused, police say he shot at her. Bell is also accused of breaking into that woman's home last week.
A proposal to decriminalize recreational marijuana is moving forward at the state capitol. Today, lawmakers on the House Criminal Justice Committee voted 7-5 to send it to the full House for consideration. The bill would allow people 21 and older in Louisiana to buy and have marijuana for personal use. It would also set up the legal framework for growing and selling cannabis products outside of the state's current medical marijuana program. In national news, some employees will soon see a bump in their paychecks. President Biden signed an executive order to increase the minimum wage for federal contractors.
The executive order will increase the hourly minimum wage for federal contractors to $15 in new and renewed contracts and contract options starting in January 2022. This increase must be implemented by March 30th, 2022.
And be sure to join us tomorrow as President Biden addresses a joint session of Congress. Our coverage begins at 8 o'clock Central. The Department of Justice says Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick was not attacked with bear spray, but instead pepper spray during the January 6th riot. Prosecutors previously argued the chemical sprayed in his face was bear spray that Julian Cater and George Tanyos were carrying. They are facing assault charges in the attack. Sicknick died the day after, but a medical examiner ruled he suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes.
The CDC is warning parents about the bedding for their infants. Researchers published an article in the journal Pediatrics today, and it finds the majority of unexpected deaths in babies involved soft bedding. That could be anything from blankets, pillows, crib bumpers, and even stuffed toys. Babies who are 4 months or younger are at high risk of suffocating on these objects. Pediatricians say it's important to come up with a sleep plan for your baby before birth. New data finds hospitalizations dropped for children in 2020 compared to previous years. Health researchers say weekly admissions to hospitals decreased by more than 48% compared to the numbers recorded from 2017 to 19. The largest decline was in the spring for children with non-severe illness. That was almost a 60% drop. Researchers say access to care for children may have been hindered because of the pandemic. And still ahead on Acadiana's News Channel at 5, the St. Jude Dream Home is back, and with some great early bird prizes you don't want to miss out on. We take you to the Dream Home coming up in just a bit.
But first, Rob's back with his full forecast. And as we head to break here at 5, a look at one Acadiana business hiring workers right now. If you want to apply for these jobs, or if you're an employer who'd like to be featured, just visit our Facebook group, The Rebound Acadiana Jobs. Post on the wall there, and you could be chosen to be featured here at 5.
Detectives with the Acadia Parish Sheriff's Office are investigating a shooting that occurred in the 100 block of Allison Drive in the Clearview subdivision. This incident occurred just before 9 p.m. on March 28th of 2021. An unknown suspect fired rounds into an occupied residence. Bullets entered the home, but no one was injured. A vehicle of interest was captured on video surveillance at the time of the shooting. It was traveling east on Lovell Street and is described as a light color 4-door pickup truck. If you have any information regarding this crime, you're urged to call the tips line at 789-TIPS or download our P3 app on your mobile device to report your tips anonymously. All calls will remain anonymous and can receive up to a $2,500 cash reward for information leading to an arrest in this case. Be the difference. For Crime Stoppers Acadia Parish, I'm Sheriff KP Gibson.
If you have any information on this crime, call Crime Stoppers at 789-TIPS. You could earn up to a $1,000 cash reward.